Welcome to What's in the Christian Nutrition, the show where we review every single episode of What's in the Bible, chronologically. And by we, I mean just me. Finally, I must admit that this is probably my personal favorite series, and I hope this is the one that wins. What's in the Bible was created by Phil Vischer, and it's actually his sequel to VeggieTales. You see, after Big Idea got bought out, he kind of lost control of VeggieTales and really didn't do too much. As I said back in The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, that was the last episode he wrote. Now, people think that he wrote the Pirates movie, and he actually did, but he wrote it way back in 2002. So really the last thing he did for VeggieTales, besides doing voices, was writing The Wizard of Oz. In 2010, he released What's in the Bible, and it was the first episode of a 26 episode series. So this show does have a limited run, but there are 26 episodes, so it's not like it's a short run. Phil Vischer liked how entertaining VeggieTales was, but he really wished it had been more educational. It turns out kids didn't even sometimes recognize that VeggieTales was a Christian show. And in fact, if you go into some of VeggieTales' most popular videos on YouTube, you'll see people commenting and be like, I didn't even realize this was a Christian show when I was younger. Which personally, I don't see how you couldn't see that, but I don't know. Phil Vischer wanted to educate Christian kids, and I applaud him for it, as he created this show in response to that. So anyways, this first episode is called What is the Bible? Seems pretty basic, but let's get started.
Mother, is the DVD in? Did you put it in correctly?
Is this puppet kid actually talking to himself?
Mother, can you push play? No, those are the windshield wipers.
Or maybe his mother is there, but she's a mute.
Ah, yes, I think you got it. It's starting. Oh, well done, Mother.
Is that him?
Hello there, I'm Phil Vischer.
It is him, finally! We can forgive VeggieTales for all the mediocre episodes they've come out with. If only this show is great. Make Christian shows great again.
We're here to take you deep inside the world's most amazing book. You know, ever since Johann Gutenberg invented the printing press way back in 1440 AD.
Hold the boat, Phil. Is this a college class? I'm just here for the laughs and the gaffs.
But of all those books, only one has sold more copies than any other.
Probably 50 Shades of Grey.
I know what it is.
Introduce yourself first.
I'm Ian.
And I'm Clive, his brother.
And I know what it is.
Twilight. It has to be Twilight. Do you get it? I'm being sarcastic about a series of books that most people don't like, but yeah, a lot of people do like because they're aimed at teenage girls. And therefore, the joke is funny because...
Pat the bunny.
Hey, Ian.
Good night, moon.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Pop on pop, green eggs and ham.
Is Ian a frontrunner to be my favorite character on the show? Yes. Currently, yes.
But none of those are the best-selling, most influential book of all time. No, that title would go...
Hold up, enhance that image. Sure enough, a book about Walt Disney sits behind Phil. Did you learn nothing from the collapse of Big Idea? I read Me, Myself, and Bob, so I know that you had to have learned something.
To this book.
It's as big as my head.
And that's saying something.
R-E-K-T. Wrecked.
This is a Bible. And this is a Bible.
And this is a Bible. Probably the best one you'll ever see, especially if you like comics in your Bible.
This is a Bible. And this is a Bible.
That looks like a phone.
It is. It's my phone.
Now that I'm looking at him a bit more closely, Phil does look a bit like Steve Jobs. Phil, are you imitating another big shot CEO again?
What's in the Bible with Buck Denver?
Catchy title. But shouldn't it be What's in the Bible with Clive and Ian?
That has a nice ring to it.
I agree. Let's make it happen.
They want to see What's in the Bible with Buck Denver. Man of news. Well,
Is Buck Denver from something prior to this show? Because how else did he all of a sudden become the host of this show? He's not interesting.
Hi, y'all.
Oh, hi, Chuck Wagon.
You can't do a show about the Bible with Yankees and Brits. You need somebody from the buckle of the Bible belt. Someone with a guitar.
A quick question. It'll be really quick. You won't even notice I asked. Is it possible we can not have this character in the show? You see, I live in the Bible Belt, and even I find this character annoying.
Oh, for the love of Henrietta Mears. Bunch of fellas can't teach the Bible all by themselves. It takes a lady's touch.
I'm glad she cleared up she was a lady, otherwise someone might have done what's the biggest crime in America today? Assuming her gender.
Good heavens, Winifred! Only 2 minutes in and it's already a train wreck!
Yes, Agnes. Should I change it?
No, I love it!
New frontrunners for favorite characters in the show? Yes. Yes, indeed.
We're teaching the Bible, which says an awful lot about cooperation and sharing and getting along with each other.
Is that true?
I'm afraid he's right.
I'm just as disappointed about this as Clive and Ian.
Good point. Why didn't you catch that, Magic Flannel Graph? Sleeping? Your eyes were wide open.
Sunday school lady is a psycho. Confirmed.
Welcome to What's in the Bible with Buck Denver.
And friends?
And friends.
That 5 minutes of just complete and utter nonsense felt a bit like Bob and Larry on the countertop. Okay, I'm in. The only difference here is that Bob actually won. That's unusual.
$5 says they don't make it past Leviticus.
You're on.
Make it $10 and you've got yourself a bet.
Who made the sun? Who made the moon?
Who made the aardvark and the
Who
boom?
made this species human and then dropped us here on Earth?
I like where this is going. Continue.
Who made the whales and polar
Who
bears?
knows our names and numbers?
Who never sleeps and always cares and tells us what we're worth?
Yes, yes. Who/what is it?
Is it reliable?
Absolutely verifiable.
Let's all take a look in the Bible. Did he say Bible?
I think he did, Buck Denver. Let's watch that in slow motion.
In the Bible.
Sure enough, he did say Bible. Lock him away in pronunciation jail.
Are we alone out here in space?
What are we doing in this place?
Is there a God? And if there is, what difference does it make?
Those are all very good questions.
Is the hubbub justifiable? I don't think your hair is pliable.
What's that have to do with the Bible?
Okay, now I think Buck's screwing with us. He has to be saying Bible here as well. Just play the replay and we can decide.
What's that have to do with the Bible?
I don't know. It could be debated that he didn't say it, but I'm thinking he did. Just everyone comment below and we're going to take a vote. We'll know the truth, but if he didn't, then we'll also know the truth. But I'm thinking he did.
Let's all take a look in the Bible
With Buck Denver.
I actually like this theme song a lot. I find it very catchy, even more so than the 3-2-1's Penguin theme, which doesn't have that many words, so I guess there's not really much to sing there. It's more of humming. But with this one, I find myself randomly singing it, and then people will give me weird looks, and I'm like, do you know what's in the Bible? Just randomly, just absolutely out of nowhere. It probably seems like a silly question to them, but I need to know if it's true and if it's reliable. Is it absolutely verifiable? Let's all take a look in the Bible. But seriously, I do need to know if Buck's hair is pliable. He has not answered that question. Okay, so Buck Denver then tries to kick off the show, but for reals this time. But Ian immediately has a suggestion to make the show better. I mean, the show hasn't even started. How can you already suggest something to make it better? Is this like Larry interrupting Bob? Anyways, he suggests ponies. Yes, ponies. We then get a cringy moment in the show that I hope goes away in future episodes where Buck Denver asks real life kids to answer questions.
It has different, kind of feeling of the pages.
Yeah, so anyways, Buck Denver asks a scientist to tell us what is a Bible, and we actually get an answer, but it's about what physically makes up a Bible, not what's inside of it, just the physical attributes, which, makes sense from a scientist. Sunday school teacher, along with Magic Flannel Graph, tells us how the Bible is and isn't a book. Like, what? She then explains how there are 66 books contained in the Bible, but none about ponies, which kind of bums Ian out.
Was written by more than 40. Most books are written in, 6 months or a year. We think the Bible may have been written over as much as 1,600 years.
Oh yes, if you're still watching this, strap in as we're about to get a flood of information. Stuff that some adults don't even know.
I've got a book, it's a bunch of books. You can read it on the prairie.
Oh no, this is one of those songs that's catchy, but you hate it, like a Dixie Chicks song. Like, you don't want to sing Wide Open Spaces, but once you've heard it, you have to hum it.
The Bible is a special book. It makes me want to cheer. It took more than 40 writers, nearly 1,600.
Please, no, it's catchy and informational. How will I explain this to my peers?
I've got a book, it's a bunch of books, and a lap, 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 dongle.
I will take that as a cue to end the song.
So the Bible is a very special book. It isn't just a book, it's a whole collection of books, a little library full of books.
This is kind of bugging me. The visuals are great, despite the fact that it's on DVD and not a Blu-ray. You know that's a sin. But the voice acting is actually really good. Like, it sounds good. The quality is clear. It sounds full. But when we get to Phil, it's like the audio quality just drops. Like an early Christian Nutrition episode where I didn't have this sweet mic and I had a battery-powered mic. That's what it sounds like in this show. They really need to fix their audio. I know they can do better, and I hope they do.
All right, Magic Flannel Graph, what is it? Because all those stories put together tell one story.
Let's ask a more reliable source. I'm not sure an inanimate object should be telling us why the Bible has been put together the way it is and what's in it and pretty much anything.
The Bible tells the story of God.
Okay, so not everything they're going to teach you is going to be news. They do have to lay the basics out.
Well, that would make the Bible
The most important book ever.
wow.
I love how Phil is pretending to hear this for the first time. Phil, we know you wrote the script. Don't be messing with me. WikiLeaks revealed you. We know your deepest, darkest secrets.
No, salami, then a layer of mustard, and then the turkey. Dijon. Not too much, though. I have a sensitive palate.
You know what? That does sound good. Hey, wifey, make me a sandwich. Sorry about that, guys. My wife made me make her a sandwich instead. And then I had to clean the toilet.
Where should we start?
Start in the middle.
More like 2/3 of the way through.
Let's start at the beginning. That's a very nice place to start.
Actually, a lot of churches start 2/3 of the way through the Bible and then never look back.
R-E-K-T. Wrecked.
But for our purposes, we should probably start at the beginning.
Do they even have a script?
I think they're winging it.
That is the whole show. Just constantly winging it.
The Bible begins with the table of contents.
No, after that.
What? We don't want to skip it. It might be important.
Ian's actually right. The table of contents is the correct place to start. I'm just kidding. Let's actually do the real beginning.
Wouldn't it be good to know how the whole Bible is put together? You know, the big picture?
I have a big picture of Conway Twitty in my bunkhouse.
Please just stop. We don't need an annoying character in the show. We can live without it. We had Junior in VeggieTales, and he got better. I don't need you to begin with. I don't need to hope that you get better. Just go away now. Sunday School Lady then explains that the Bible is split into two parts, the Old and New Testaments, not Testament, Testament. She explains how Protestants have 39 books in the Old Testament while Catholics have 46, and there's 50 books for Orthodox Bibles.
My Bible has 71 books in it because I stuck 5 comic books in the back. Today we'll be reading from the first book of the Green Lantern.
Wow. Moving on, Sunday School Lady then has a pirate explain church history. Is he the missing pirate from the Pirates Who Don't Do Anything? He sounds a little bit like Pa Grape, actually. We will never know, though. Captain Pete then explains that in the year 400 AD, a man named Jerome translated the Bible from Latin. It turns out that the Jews and Greeks have been reading from a Septuagint, and no, that's not me sneezing, that had 15 extra books. It turns out that they were extra books, and they weren't part of the official Jewish Bible. Long story short is that Jerome kept some of them in his translations. Martin Luther, not Martin Luther King, that you know from the 60s, Martin Luther from way back in the day, did the same thing when he translated the Bible himself, and he made them their own section between the Old and New Testament. But most Christians drop those books since they are not officially part of the Bible. However, Catholics and Orthodox still keep some of them in their Bibles. Sound confusing? Well, it can be, but the show really makes this easy to understand.
Are there different numbers of books in different New Testaments?
Nope. All New Testaments have 27 books, period.
And thank goodness, I would not want to deal with any more Christian debates. Some of them are really dumb.
Now, the Old Testament books are divided into 4 sections. The Torah, or Pentateuch, that means 5 books.
These names are going to be long and confusing, aren't they?
The historical books, the prophets, and the writings, or wisdom literature.
Never mind, that was much easier than I thought. The New Testament also has 4 sections. The Gospels, which is about Jesus, of course. The Acts of the Apostles, which is about the early days of the church. The Epistles, which are letters, mostly from Paul. And then, of course, the Revelation of John.
The word testament comes from the Latin word testamentum, meaning oath or covenant.
Is it time for a song yet? My brain is hurting.
So, why did God have to make these promises, and what did he promise?
Good question, Phil, but you aren't going to tell us this time, are you?
Will there be ponies on the next show?
Well, we're going to talk about Genesis, which is where God makes all the animals, so I guess that would include ponies.
Ian's going to be disappointed by the lack of ponies. That's for sure.
Well, that's the end of this episode. Don't miss our next show as we jump into the book of Genesis. Chuckwagon, take us out.
Yeah, I'm just going to skip the chuck wagon part.
Well, that could have been worse.
Yes, it could have been longer.
I'm now seeing the connection here. These two old ladies are like those two old men from the Muppets. If you've seen a recent Muppet movie or an older one, they're there. They're always there, and they're always critiquing and criticizing everyone, and it's hilarious. But that just means Phil is copying another big shot guy who made kids entertainment. Jim Henson. Really, Phil? How many more people are you going to copy? I'm on to you.
If I didn't know better, I'd say you were reciting some sort of an important plot point.
Well, I hope so. Otherwise, I just bored the audience half to death.
You mean half the audience is still alive?
And the whole show is puppets. How did I not see this before? That was What's in the Bible's first episode, What is the Bible? And as I said before, I believe this is a viable candidate to succeed VeggieTales, though you're not going to get many mad episodes like you would with Bible Man. Or possibly 3-2-1 Penguins. I don't know. I haven't really decided how that show would turn out. I really find this show to be enjoyable. It's informative. It's funny. I mean, it's been a while since I've actually had a good laugh, and this show gave it to me. But next week is the pilot to beat all pilots. That's right. The one that Say Movie Night Kevin literally released as I was writing the script to the episode. Me and him are going to have words. Oh well, it is a wondrous place not far away. Remember, God made you special and he loves you very much. Bye!